It's Friday, May 24th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On Barnstable Today, we have everything you need to kick off your summer. Beach information, boat pump-out services, beating the traffic and getting around car-free, and a special Memorial Day remembrance. Did you forget your beach parking permit in February? Better make a stop at HYCC and bring your patience. Beach stickers are required for all Barnstable beaches this weekend. John Gleason, Assistant Director for Barnstable Recreation, has a pail and shovels worth of beach information.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend this Memorial Day. John, can you tell us a little bit about the beaches?
Absolutely. Beaches open Memorial Day weekend. We have Veterans, Kalma, C Street, Colville's, Craigville, and Dassus open for the weekend, including Monday, Memorial Day. And then throughout the week, we have Colville's and Craigville open for people to, enjoy the beach.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little bit about stickers this year?
Sure, absolutely. So to get into any of the public beaches or the resident-only beaches, you need to have a parking permit. Those can be purchased at the Highness Youth and Community Center Monday through Saturday from 9 to 4 and Sundays and holidays 9 to noon. And we've been doing them through the mail since the beginning of the new year. So if you want to come to the beaches this weekend, make sure you stop by the youth center and grab your parking permit so you're all set to enjoy the beach.
And is there anything new you'd like to tell us about?
Well, the stickers this year are $45, which is a $5 increase, and that's due to the cost of minimum wage going up. So we have to pay for those staff at the beach because of those increases. Also, over the winter break, DPW has been working hard. They've built some new lifeguard towers for us. They've built new gatehouses, and they've gone inside all the bathhouses to spruce them up. A lot of fixing of woodwork, painting floors and walls. So when you enter the beaches, they should be looking nice and fresh for the season.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the activities we can and can't do at the beach?
Absolutely. So one of the most popular ones is for children to bring inflatables to the beach. So definitely the kids can use inflatables in the water, just as long as it's an onshore breeze. That means the wind's blowing towards the shore. They can use boogie boards and rafts and enjoy the water. Just with an offshore breeze, we don't want them to use that because we don't want them to be blown away to the vineyard in Nantucket, but it's definitely something they can use and enjoy. Obviously shovels and playing building sandcastles and all those sort of things. We just want to make sure people, if they use umbrellas, that they really dig them into the ground, make sure they're secure so they don't go flying in high winds. And another big thing people do like to play at the beach is, any sort of games like ball games and stuff like that. So a lot of people enjoy cornhole and stuff like that. And where we do have volleyball nets, people are allowed to play volleyball or catch baseball or football with their son or daughter or with each other. And we are installing new volleyball nets this year, which will be a nice new addition. There'll be places like Craigville and Dassus Beach and Sandy Neck that haven't had volleyball nets in the past, which by the start of the season, by the end of June, there'll be some new nets there. So people can bring a volleyball down and enjoy playing some beach volleyball.
Awesome. Looks like it's going to be a great weekend.
One way to keep our water clean, take advantage of the free pump-out service at our various harbors. Jared Schmaller, Assistant Harbor Master, takes us on a cruise around Katuitt Bay to pump out a scheduled vessel. A gorgeous day on Katuitt Bay. We are jumping on board with Jared Schmaller, Assistant Harbor Master, and we're going to go pump out a boat. This is a free program to boaters here in Barnstable. Jared's going to tell us a little bit about the program, and you're going to see it live.
Already tied up to the boat. We open always wear gloves and eye protection. Get the cap open. Eventually. And up forward in the compartment here we have our hose. Has a fully electric pump, as does the other one in the Pump-out boats use a diaphragm style pump that pumps essentially right from your boat into the holding tank. Put this on with Camelot butters. Make sure it's closed so that we don't have anything happen initially. Turn it on. Then slowly open the valve. And you sit here and there's a sight glass that shows what's coming through. And right now there's actually not too much in this boat. So right now it's just cycling through what it's got there. So that's pretty much done. If the tank on this boat was full, it would probably take about 90 seconds to 2 minutes for it to pump it all the way out. Close the lever before we open anything else up so that we don't discharge anything elsewhere that we don't want it to be. Slowly take it off. Fitting. Back in so we can flush some water through. Secure our hose. Shut the pump down. That's essentially how the pump out goes. Nice and quick and clean. As you can see, there's nothing that leaks out. It's a completely sealed system. And the final step that we do is we leave a business card on board that does have all of the information for the pump out program. They have our phone number and the email address for the pump out program, so if you need service. And we put the date and the time and who pumped your boat. So when these people come back on board, they can see that their pump out was done and their boat's all set and the holding tank is ready for the weekend.
How important is it for the environment to do this on a regular basis and not get your tanks too full?
The tanks are they're a sealed tank, so unless you have a failure in the tank, there's not going to be any leakage for the most part. It's a good service because A, it's free and funded through state and federal grants, but it's also just our environment. I mean, the water is a huge resource here in the town of Barnstable in many ways, recreationally and commercially. Right over all through this area is a huge shellfishing area that the last thing we want to do is be pumping sewage into it. You know, it leads to norovirus and all kinds of other things.
Right.
So and it affects the ecosystem and what we are as a town and as a region.
Right. And I know that we're here at the Katuitt town dock, but where else is this service available?
This service is available town-wide. We have a boat here that services primarily the 3 Bay area of Katuitt Bay, North Bay, and West Bay. And we also travel to Hyannis to offload, and then we will also stop in East Bay if we need to. We do have one regular customer over in East Bay. And then we also have another boat that's in Hyannis that services the Lewis Bay and Hyannisport area. And that boat can come over here. This is a busier area because it is larger for us.
Sure.
That boat can come over here if we had a really busy day that needs to supplement. And then we have 2 shoreside facilities in Hyannis, both at Bismore Park. And then we have another shoreside facility in Barnstable Harbor because there just isn't as many boats. There aren't as many boats that need pump outs over there.
Right.
So the shoreside facility works well for us.
Okay. And the actual ability for people to, call and email on a busy weekend, what's kind of the time frame for folks? Should they, kind of anticipate getting the pump out, or?
Yes. It's always better if you can anticipate and plan ahead for it. That gives us the opportunity for any weather issues. Yesterday it was really windy that if we wanted to do this yesterday, I would have tried to reschedule because it was just too windy. Right. We definitely don't want to cause damage to a customer's boat, to our boats. We don't want to get anybody hurt. There's too many opportunities for bad things to happen if it's a really poor weather day. Wind and lightning are our biggest deterrents to being able to do this.
Okay.
But it also allows for staffing changes and other things that may come up that need to take a priority. So We would like a few days notice if possible, but when we're out here on the weekends, that's what we're out here to do. These boats, although they can respond to emergencies and they're fully equipped to handle any of that stuff, the primary purpose of these boats, over and above anything else, is pump out. Again, they're funded through grants, and as part of that, there's to be used for pump out. So these boats are out here to pump your boat all the time.
And let's just take it to the conclusion. Once it lands in this boat in the holding tank, where does it go?
This boat will then go to Hyannis. We'll take it by water, and we will use one of the 2 stations over there. And then from there, there are 2 pumps over there. They're called peristaltic pumps. They just operate on a different style. A little bit heavier duty because they have a lot further to draw everything from, between emptying a 450-gallon holding tank on this boat into the town sewer system. So it goes right into a pumping station that's there at Bismore Park and ends up right in the town sewer system.
Excellent.
And our north side station as well pumps right from this tank there into the town sewer system as well. So everything is treated properly. It ends up just where it would if you were flushing the toilet at your home.
And where it should go.
Exactly.
Exactly. Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority has many options for car-free travel to the Cape, as well as getting around Barnstable and beyond. Consider taking a fun trip with your bike this summer to the National Seashore. The Cape Cod RTA can get you there.
During the summer months, people who are visiting the Cape or live on the Cape can use our service to travel anywhere on the Cape. They can use any of our routes to, for example, the H2O that leaves here from Hyannis and travels all the way down to Orleans. It travels along 28, and I don't know if you're aware, but there's many activities that are on 28. For example, you have the water park that is on 28. You have the Widow Museum. You have the golf courses. There's several of them that are along the Cape. The Pirates Cove, as well as I think there's another one, Skull Island. Not to mention when you get into Harwichport, there's trampolines, there's ice cream, there's go-karts. There's all different activities that kids can do along the Cape and enjoy themselves. And not only that, if they don't live right along the route, that's okay, because they have their bicycles they can use. They can ride to one of our bus stops, and if they can get to 28, they can flag our buses down. And as long as they're on the right side of the road and they can do so safely, we'll stop and we'll pick them up. We have buses that go near the beaches. So that's where, if they have a bicycle that they've brought with them, that's where it comes in handy. So we can get them close to the beach and they can ride the bike the rest of the way. We have the ability to carry 3 bicycles on the front of our buses. And to ride on the bus, adults is $2. Students, if they stop by here and get a trolley card, they are discounted to $1.50. We work closely with the J1 students when they come to visit the Cape. We want to make sure that they have the opportunity to get here and there while they're here, not just for work purposes, but also to have that cultural experience while they're visiting. And we also offer them a discounted pass. It's a 31-day pass. We discount that to $45 for them, so they can go on and off the buses all month long. And they also have their bicycles. And in addition, we also have funding that we have set aside for bike and ped, and we purchase bike lights to help keep them safe when they're riding at night.
The Cape Flyer is a seasonal passenger rail service that comes from South Station down right into Hyannis, right here to this terminal. And every year it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and we get, a lot of press on it because it is, so convenient for people not to have to travel over the bridge. And we work with all kinds of organizations and businesses here on the Cape to try to just attract people down to the Cape. Well, we have a unique bike coach that can hold up to 50 bikes. So we have a lot of groups that come down that they get off in Hyannis, they bike to P-Town, and then they take Boston Harbor cruises back, or vice versa, or they just stay around Hyannis. A lot of them get off in Buzzards Bay to head down to Woods Hole to go to Martha's Vineyard, or stay in Falmouth and experience all there is to experience there. There's a cafe car on board that has beer, wine, cocktails, refreshments, and all kinds of, like a fried chicken basket or a fluffernutter or something like that that people can enjoy. Pets are free, absolutely. In fact, in the cafe car, there's a water bowl, and they have treats for all the pets. Kids are free under 12. Bikes are free, and there's room for luggage. We've had some really interesting requests for, like a tandem bike or something like that. We always make room for anybody that wants to hop on. On the 27th, we have a free train for all veterans. As of right now, we have about 400 that are coming down. Once they get into Hyannis, they're going to be bussed over to the Cape Cod Cares for the Troops in the Spotlight event at the Kmart Plaza, where they'll spend the day. There's a lot of activities and ceremonies that they have down there. They can come back earlier if they want and walk around Main Street here. We're going to have a band set up so they have some music to listen to before they board the train again. There's a lot of food. All the food is free on the Cape Flyer, so that's all donated by a bunch of different organizations. The gourmet brunch has offered chowder, so we had a chowder station here as they're boarding the train. They'll grab a chowder, a cookie, a soda, and all kinds of other fun things. So it's a great day for them. There's no traffic on my bridge. That's my hashtag on social media.
Remembrance is a key ingredient for Memorial Day, and the Bismores, Joe and Ginny, share their love for their brother Ralph Bismore, a World War II soldier taken too soon.
Yes, he was on a B-26, like that one, only with just a single tail. And I have heard several different stories of how he died. I don't know which is actually the way he died, but it doesn't make any difference. He died in the plane. And I have been once down to the cemetery in Washington and visited his gravesite, and that was really an emotional experience. But he was really a saint. He was a remarkable, amazing, lovely person, and as opposed to some of the rest of us who were gruff and not so nice. We'd get a letter once in a while, because that's about all the communications we had. The telephones were all busy with war business. And so occasionally we'd get a letter, and my mother and my sisters would send him a package with some cookies and stuff in it. I don't know if they ever got there or not. Or if they did get there, they were probably gulped up by all of his friends, like it was when I was in the Army. I'd get a package and I'd have 2 cookies and the rest of them would just go to everybody else. But no, we didn't have much constant awareness of where he was, which is good, because, but anyway, like when he went over to Europe, I had no idea he was in Europe until we discovered that he was no longer with us. Well, we were a ragtag bunch because we were all very different. Jerry was life of the party. He was just, well, his smile lit up the room, and he was just funny and fun, and at the same time he was very serious, depending on what he was doing. Then he went roller skating at Mill Hill one time, and the gal in front of him tripped, and he went to jump over and he kicked her with his skate and broke her jaw. So he went to visit her in the hospital, and darned if they didn't get married. We were patriotic, we loved America, we loved Cape Cod, we loved the people on Cape Cod because they're friendly people. Whenever we'd get away from Cape Cod, we'd run into the brusque, well, like we'd go to Boston and people were not friendly and warm. And so we appreciated where we were. We appreciated the beauty of the place and the willingness to share among people.
teeth were like, like some animals' teeth. And so they called him Jerry Muskrat. And then they gradually dropped it to just Jerry. Every time I reached for something on my plate to eat, it was gone. He had taken it. And I'd say, I just had a piece of bread and butter here. Where'd it go? I don't know. But then I'd look on his plate. There it was. But he was a good jokester. He wasn't nasty. He was just fun. He always, when he was coming home from work at night, he was always whistling. If it was raining or snowing or what, he'd whistle. His no hat on. He was whistling along and come in. His hair was dripping wet. He would. All I can say is I was so glad he was my brother. He worked in a drugstore, and in fact he got his diploma to get to. And then about the time he got his diploma for it to be a degree, to get his degree, he had to go. He knew he was going to go in the service, so he enlisted. And it wasn't too long after that before he was killed. But he, as I say, he said to me, the day I saw him in the last time we got together, he said, this is the best time of my life. And he said, if I'm going to spend the rest of my life here. And now he had 6 more years. But that's the way it goes. And he had a lot of love for his country too. And whenever a plane went to the airport, when it was just a dirt road, like, he'd run up there and see who it was. If it was somebody he knew famous, he'd be glad to greet them and all that. And if they weren't famous, he'd help try to work and become famous. He was full of aircraft. But it's just so too bad that a plane had to be what took his life. But God has the plans, we don't. And when we got back, and I got the mail, and it was a letter saying that he had died, and I just dissolved into tears. And this girl took me up to her and said, Jerry, she needs you down here. So he came down, and I was brokenhearted. So of course she couldn't say it to Jerry because he wasn't there, but anyway, he was there usually when we wanted him. And he was there when his wife needed him too. I do remember that it changed from Ocean Park, but I didn't know exactly how close the connection was. But I was very, very proud when it became Bismore Park. My brother's name is Bismore Park. My brother's name is Bismore, and it's named after my brother, and he was killed in World War II. And I'm very, 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 very proud of him. And not only for being that name, but just because who he was.
Here's a look at the community calendar for the upcoming Memorial Day weekend. The annual Troops in the Spotlight event, Kmart Plaza in Hyannis, kicks off Memorial Day weekend events in Barnstable on Sunday. A 24-hour event focusing on veterans, wounded warriors, and Gold and Blue Star families. Opening ceremony, 11:30 a.m. Sunday, featuring special honor ceremony for Vietnam vets at 2 p.m. The town of Barnstable's annual Memorial Day Parade will kick off sharply at 10 a.m. and proceed down Main Street to Monument Square in Centerville for a brief program, then continue on Old Stage Road to Beechwood Cemetery for the main program. The John F. Kennedy Memorial Trust Fund Committee's annual Memorial Day ceremony will begin at 12:15 at John F. Kennedy Memorial, Ocean Street, Hyannis. The 2019 JFK Memorial Trust Fund Scholarship will be awarded to a Barnstable High School graduate. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly. scarce heard amid the guns below. We are dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow. Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.